Hello and welcome to Camnet Television Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present. The headlines in the news tonight: some parents express mixed feelings over reopening of schools. Court orders former Ambassador MWAMBA to surrender his passport. ZICTA fines AIRTEL for breach of service obligations. In international news, thousands flee homes as fighting intensifies in GOMA, DRC. And in sports news, MWAPE names a 30-member provisional squad for Ghana clash. These are more stories coming up shortly after this break.
It's a January back-to-school promotion bonanza at Darren Bay. Take advantage of our massive price discounts and turn your wonderful school-going kids into stars. With a cornrows hairstyle going at only 30 kwacha for kids below 13 years and 50 kwacha for kids above 13 years, your child is guaranteed that neat and trusted, classy look. This curly, knotless hairstyle is going for as little as 150 kwacha from as high as 200 kwacha, wigs included. Now that's a classy saving. The sleek ponytail going at 80 kwacha from 120 kwacha makes your little one look like a true princess. Gift your pretty one with this lovely natural twist for as low as 60 kwacha from 100 kwacha, beads included. Now that's a cute saving. Your princess will look stunning in this curly ponytail at only 90 kwacha from the original 110 kwacha. Now that is a great deal. You will find us along Mosi Road, 4th Close, on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post in Ibex Hill, Lusaka. We are open from 0720 to 17 hours, 7 days a week. Call us for appointment bookings on 0772 870588 or WhatsApp on 0972 04 9213. Darren B, a touch of class.
Another news in detail. Some parents and guardians in Lusaka's Mtendere township of Munali constituency have welcomed the reopening of schools with mixed feelings. Those spoken to by Camnet News expressed their concerns about the availability of water in some schools within the area, citing an existing challenge of water. One of the residents, Victor Mubanga, has questioned the frequency at which the government will conduct school inspections in light of the cholera outbreak. On Wednesday, 7th February 2024, the government announced that the school reopening date would remain as Monday, 12th February 2024. More in this report.
Since October 2023, the country has been recording alarming numbers of cholera cases countrywide, which subsequently pushed the government to introduce preventive measures such as restrictions during funerals of the cholera victim. On 24th January 2024, government postponed further the reopening of schools from 29th January 2024 to 12 February 2024 owing to the increase in the number of cholera cases which were being recorded. Now that cases of cholera have begun to dwindle countrywide, the Ministry of Education Wednesday maintained that schools will go ahead and reopen on Monday, 12 February 2024. However, some parents and guardians in Lusaka's Mtendere township have received the move with mixed concerns.
Okay, every day so this was a gorilla let's get busy now that I'm gonna correct palasti
have been done, okay, in schools, especially here in Combons, where people, you know what I mean? They look at these kids, you see they do everything. But if everything has been put in perspective, then I'm okay with it. But if they haven't, then please, they should hold on. But everything, if everything is okay, I'm okay with the government for doing that.
Meanwhile, Other parents are still skeptical about how schools will maintain hygiene as a measure to contain the spread of the disease in learning facilities, owing to the challenges of water that some parts of the country continue to face.
Then my classes schools baby class. Because once we were to introduce stizi ngati we vonse viviriko ngati vazachita bwana. So stizi wachamene tiri wali maningi chakuti ma toilets pa ma private bana ndo ya checkinga kuti vintu vonse vilishape bwino vangasekurira na veve pamande. Because ngalipoona po ino pa private school ba ndo clean ma toilet na ngapo inango toilet ngalipoona hapo hapo
wakati wa kuma toilet wakazisamba kuongela mklasi wala upezi kazasamba chani manzi kulibe mkomboni nje kolera imozi na imozi njali ngati kolera kazifaka koma manzi ya wapase na wana wasegulire maskulu zoza atwateshani wale
nibe mwamuna maona amwe single parent nibo ntande nibe helpa bacha beni kamba na mwana wa school ai apa so pa mande atafuna chosa transport oska pa intercity kwa kupeta uke kizinga transport mfora 1 pini muli 1 pini basi mwana wa school nguye na grocery ni plan na nyumba na magroceries hapa nyumba sasa na zingati sipanga sense.
While these concerns are faced, government has assured of strict interventions in ensuring that the disease is combated, especially in learning facilities.
Maintained that the opening date of schools remains Monday, 12 February 2024. May I take this opportunity to assure the parents, guardians, and the country at large that the Ministry of Education through the Directorate of Standards, Assessment and Evaluation, and School Health and Nutrition has been and will continue to conduct school inspections in all the 10 provinces with focus on Lusaka district, which is the epicenter of cholera.
According to the revised school calendar, Term 1 will run from February 12 to April 26, while Term 2 will run from May 6 to August 9, and Term 3 will run from September 2nd to December 6th, 2024. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Zambia National Union of Teachers, ZANUT, has urged private schools in the country to enhance working conditions for teachers. Speaking during the signing of the collective agreement between the union and Lusaka Islamic Community Education Foundation, LISEF, ZANUT Secretary General Isaac Ngoma emphasized the importance of adherence to labor laws in the country. Meanwhile, LISEF school team leader for negotiations, Harun Gumra, disclosed that as part of the agreement, LISEF has implemented a 10% salary increment on the basic salary, 12% on housing, and 10% on miscellaneous allowances to improve teachers' standards of living. Mr. Gumra has also commended the government for decision to reopen schools.
About a management that is ready to create an environment that is good for our teachers, understanding that if the environment is not good, then you cannot be guaranteed of quality learning. So management, we understand that they are putting a teacher at the center of everything else. And I think that makes us proud as a representative of the teachers. May I take this opportunity to indicate here that negotiations between ZANUT and LISEF are a continuous bargaining process which is informed by the law under the Industrial Labour Relations Act.
Unionized members of ZANUT have already had the salary increment backdated to 1st of January. In other words, when they received their salaries for January, the increment for this year was already incorporated in their salary package. The agreement we have is as follows. For unionized members of staff, divided the salary into 3 components: basic pay, housing, and miscellaneous, which also caters for transport. The increment is as follows. On basic pay, the increment is 10%, effective from 1st of January 2024. And on housing, it's 12%, and on miscellaneous, it's 12%.
Government has launched the National Policy on Drug and Substance Control with a call on families to center stage in the fight against all forms of drug and substance abuse. Speaking during the launch in Lusaka Thursday morning, Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security Jack Mwimbo noted with concern that young people seeking counseling for drug addiction increased from 810 in 2021 to more than 1,000 in 2022. Mr. Mwimbo says families, as a primary unit of society, should rekindle their role of promoting morals and values in society to tackle the scourge of drug abuse, especially among people below 15 years. Meanwhile, UN Country Resident Coordinator Beatrice Muntali says collaboration is required to address the scourge of drug and substance abuse. The National Policy on Drug and Substance Control is aimed at informing decision-making and action for management of drug and substance-related issues. More in the following report.
Drug and substance abuse is a global problem which is affecting the social and economic setups of countries. In 2021, for instance, the estimated number of illegal drug users worldwide was around 296 million. Among these users, 39.5 million could be considered problem drug users or categorized as having a drug use disorder. To further streamline the fight against the scourge in Zambia, government, with support from the UN Country Office and other cooperating partners, has launched the National Policy on Drug and Substance Control. Speaking during the launch in Lusaka, UN Resident Coordinator Beatrice Muntali says consequences of drug and substance abuse are far-reaching, hence the need to unite in addressing the scourge.
In Africa, the number of drug users is projected to rise by 40% in the next decade, simply because of demographic changes. Young populations are the most vulnerable to using drugs and are also more severely affected by drug use disorders in several regions.
Officiating as guest of honor at the event, Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security Jack Mwimbo outlined some of the functions of the policy.
It is this in mind that the National Policy on Drug Substance Control has been developed to guide decision-making and action on achieving positive outcomes for individuals and society as a whole.
Mr. Mwimbo has since urged families in the country to instill good morals and values in children to help curtail the surging cases of drug abuse among youths.
As government, we acknowledge with concern that the increase in young people indulging in drugs and substance abuse is a sign that the family, which is the most important unit in society, has dropped its guard. The greatest investment we should make for the future is through our children and youth. This is why it is important for the family to rekindle its values.
Kanyama constituency Member of Parliament Moti Chinkuli, whose area houses Wera compound, infamous for drug and substance abuse, was on hand to welcome the launch of the policy.
With this policy that has come, I would want to urge each and every one of us to be part of this fight. International community, stakeholders, all line ministries, if all of us will come together, in fact including us as parents, because these who are abusing these drugs are our children.
For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Garen Kombo, has commissioned the 4.6 kilometers Nakambala Road financed by Zambia Sugar at a cost of 41 million kwacha. Speaking during the road commissioning Wednesday afternoon, Mr. Kombo, who is also Mazabuka Central Member of Parliament, hailed Zambia Sugar for being among the top contributors to national development through huge remissions of taxes. He has commended Zambia Sugar Country Director Oswald Magwenzi for his unique leadership traits since taking over the company's mantle, describing his management as one that has transformed the estates, Mazabuka, and the nation in general. Mr. Nkombo has also commended the contractor for delivering the road project under 18 months, which also comes with a sideway for cyclists. Meanwhile, Zambia Sugar Chief Executive Officer Mr. Magwenzi notes that the tarred road, the first of its kind in the area, has been delivered when the company is clocking 60 years of operations in the country.
As a good corporate citizen, to work with the government to make sure that we together fight the cholera threat that has been threatening the country. We have supported the government at national level. We've also supported the government at local level to support a reality. The lesson from that is that if we continue to work together in partnerships with the government, with the local community, together in all our teams, we will together achieve great things. As we have seen that we've done this road in record time, and also to acknowledge the contractor who has done a great job, and this road has been built with no safety incident. So I think the contractor deserves a big round of applause.
Pulmonary dysfunction is great. You have sacrificed 41 million bucks kwacha, divide by 4.6 kilometers, the average is to about 10 million kwacha per 1 kilometer to do bituminous standard road. 10 million kwacha per kilometer is a steep throw, but you have sacrificed to get this done for your people. This is going to go down in history, Mr. Magwenzi, as there was once a man called Oswald Magwenzi who transformed the estate to acceptable living standard. These are things that we really put our minds to.
Some suspected United Party for National Development UPND youths in MWAMBA district on the Copperbelt have stormed council offices demanding the resignation of the district commissioner. The youths sang songs accusing the district commissioner of doing nothing to uplift their lives. Reacting to the incident Thursday afternoon, UPND National Youth spokesperson Phineas Pomolo has urged the party youths to be law-abiding and avoid behaviors of the Patriotic Front PF youths whilst in government. Mr. Pomolo has, however, appealed to government officials to keep their doors open to UPND cadres when called upon, as opposed to chasing them away.
We want to appeal to our youths across the country that let's not go the PF route. The president has made it very clear and he has given guidance. Let's remain the way we were, the way we are, as a united party, as a united youths. Regardless of who commits illegality, illegality is an illegality, and we as a party, we are not going to support that. At the same time, we want to appeal to the district commissioners across the country, to the ministers and PSS, that if our members, they visit your offices, attend to them nicely and give them guidance. All they need, they should feel that they belong to the government because they suffered for this government to where it is today. But we have noticed that there are few individuals that are in a habit of not wanting to receive our party youths in the name of that they are.
Senior Chief Mwata Kazembe of the Lunda people of MWAMBA in Luapula province has attributed the poverty situation in the country to the tendency of politicians grabbing power from chiefs. The traditional leader says God did not invest authority in politicians, but traditional leaders as seen in the Bible through Solomon, David and others. Meanwhile, Opposition Socialist Party President Dr. Fred Membe has pledged to restore authority among chiefs in the country once he forms government. Dr. Membe is, however, saddened that Luapula's poverty levels stand at 77.3%, with the highest number of stunted children.
We don't have millionaires, but twaliko atama minerals. Epo batampira kuchita mine manganese nilelo, ama sujilite nilelo, but we can't produce even 1 millionaire. Munomulapula. Even the chiefs, you are not millionaires. The rural establishments are not millionaires. You are poor, yet you have all these resources. Impia shireyafi. Shia kui.
Poor by 4.
Within 3 years, Kanavesa, within 3 years of the Socialist Party being in government, the Kazembe royal family, the royal establishment, will be a millionaire institution.
There's so much English that we can move a politician. Now we can move. Alipoka makaku infumu mwashipoka bashala kwa tibia mweva politician mko at latitude and everything. That's your village. But if you're such a malanda, it's not just what you have. If you're malanda, you're engaged, you're having Zambia and about to pay on Monday.
Lusaka Magistrate Trevor Kasanda has ordered Opposition Patriotic Front faction chairperson for information, MWAMBA, to surrender his passport to the clerk of court. When the matter came up Thursday morning, Magistrate Kasanda ruled that the accused will only retrieve it when necessary for authorized travel. This decision comes alongside the court's noteworthy move to revoke a bench warrant previously issued against the accused. This is in a matter where Mr. Mwamba is facing 1 count of assault on a police officer. Details in the following report.
Today, Thursday, 8th of February 2024, the Lusaka Magistrate Court made a ruling ordering Opposition Patriotic Front faction chairperson for information, MWAMBA, to surrender his passport. The decision comes amidst an ongoing legal proceeding. Mr. Mwamba appeared before the court in connection to a case in which he is accused of assaulting a police officer. Allegations before court are that Mr. Mwamba, on the 14th of June 2023 in Lusaka, assaulted Detective Inspector Stephen Simwinda, an officer of the Zambia Police Service, while in the line of duty. This morning, when the matter came up, the court deemed it necessary for Mr. Mwamba to surrender his passport to the clerk of court and only to retrieve it when necessary for authorized travel. This measure is taken to ensure compliance with legal proceedings. This decision comes alongside the court's move to revoke a bench warrant previously issued against the accused. The bench warrant, initially intended to compel the accused appearance, has now been rescinded. In the previous court session, Magistrate Kasanda issued a bench warrant against Mr. Mwamba after he absconded court session. His lawyers had later informed the court that he was abroad attending a conference in the United States of America. The accused apologized this morning and informed the court that after learning of the bench warrant issued against him, he cut his trip short in order to present himself before court. The matter has been adjourned to March 18, 2024. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Lusaka Magistrate Court has overruled the application to have the matter where Patriots for Economic Progress leader Sean Tembo has lodged a complaint against the ruling UPND Secretary General Vatuke Imenda for the alleged offense of hate speech dismissed. Delivering a ruling Wednesday morning, Magistrate Exilda Chanda said the case was properly before her. However, consent needs to be issued by the Director of Public Prosecutions to have the matter prosecuted or not. In the previous court session, Mr. Imenda, through his lawyers, applied for the matter to be dismissed, citing lack of jurisdiction. In his complaint against the UPND Secretary General, Mr. Tembo alleged that on the 28th of May 2023, Mr. Imenda, in an audio circulation from a press briefing held at the UPND Secretariat in Lusaka, uttered and published on various media platforms hate speech language towards Lusaka Archbishop Alik Banda by way of referring to him as the Lucifer of Zambia. You're watching Camnet Television Main News. We take a break. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260-763-062-680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodlands, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. Government, through the Ministry of Health, has prohibited the sale of cooked foods in schools in an effort to prevent cholera. Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo says the measure is aimed at sustaining the huge gains made in curtailing the spread of the disease. Speaking during a press conference on the cholera situation in the country, Ms. Masebo says the government will continually monitor schools and those found with poor hygiene will be closed. Meanwhile, the minister has disclosed that 5 people have died from cholera in the last 24 hours, with 167 cases recorded.
Let us ensure that the vishtumbuas that are being sold in our schools are not allowed at this time, so that we do not have transmission of diseases through vishtumbuas. These are fritters that are being cooked on the and sold on the streets or nearby classrooms. In the last 24 hours, 167 new cases were reported compared to 182 cases that were reported yesterday. The good news is that Luapula Province, Muchinga Province, Northern provinces have not recorded any new case of cholera. Sadly, we lost 5 lives to cholera in the last 24 hours, with 2 at the hospital facility and 3 dying in the community.
The Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency, ZAMSA, has distributed 32% of medicines and medical supplies in public health facilities across the country this year. ZAMSA Senior Manager Corporate Communications Bradley Chingobe says the distribution means 34 routes have been covered out of the target of 107, which need to be covered by the end of the first quarter of 2024. Mr. Chingobe adds that by the end of the first quarter of 2024, the agency will distribute all essential medicines and medical supplies to all the 3,400 health facilities in Zambia. He, however, says the agency's stock of essential medicines is intact, such as the intravenous fluids, which are critical in the treatment of cholera, sitting at a stock level of 100% among other medicines.
Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency, ZAMSA, has this year intensified the distributions of medicines and medical supplies in public health facilities across the country, with 32% of the distribution routes covered to this date. From the targeted 107 routes that need to be completed by the end of the first quarter of 2024, ZAMSA has covered 34 routes in just over a month. This indicates our commitment to have medicines and medical supplies distributed to all health facilities across the country on time and according to schedule. The 34 routes completed include health facilities in parts of Lusaka, Northwestern, Wapula, Western, Northern, and Southern provinces. By the end of the first quarter of 2024, ZAMSA would have had effectively distributed essential medicines and medical supplies to all the 3,400 health facilities in Zambia. In terms of essential medicines availability, ZAMSA currently has intravenous fluids, IV fluids, which are critical in the treatment of cholera, sitting at a stock level of 100%. By the same token, antiretroviral and anti-malaria drugs are sitting at stock levels of above 94%. As regards to laboratory stock positions, HIV stock test kits and infection prevention products are all notably sitting at 100% availability levels. ZAMSA is committed to our vision of being a world-class supply chain of essential medicines and medical supplies for a healthy and productive nation.
The Zambia Information and Communications Technology Authority, ZICTA, has again fined AIRTEL Networks Zambia PLC an undisclosed amount for breaching regulations of operations. ZICTA Manager Corporate Communications Hanford Chaba, in a statement, says the fine comes in the company's failure to adhere to Section 67 Cap 1 and Cap A of the Information and Communications Technologies Act No. 15 of 2009, as well as the quality of service parameters as outlined in the Quality of Service Guidelines. Mr. Chaba adds that the fine has been necessitated by the recent outages experienced on the AIRTEL network that affected its subscriber base. He says AIRTEL has been directed to immediately implement an action plan aimed at resolving the recurring network outages and to strictly adhere to the implementation timelines. Mr. Chaba further says the authority will continue to monitor AIRTEL's performance to ensure adherence to the authority's decision and the laws governing the sector. The Ministry of Agriculture, through the Department of Zambia Agricultural Research Institute, ZARI, has partnered with the University of Zambia School of Agricultural Sciences to develop and implement a 4-year project on soil mapping for resilient agri-food systems. The project has been funded by the Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, to 2 implementing institutions in collaboration with the U.S. government at a cost of $20 million, aimed at addressing the challenge of low yields and poor soil fertility in the country. Nais has more in this report.
The Ministry of Agriculture, through the Department of Zambia Agricultural Research Institute, ZARI, has partnered with the University of Zambia School of Agricultural Sciences to develop and implement a 4-year project on soil mapping for resilient agri-food systems. The project has been funded by the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, to the 2 implementing institutions in collaboration with the U.S. government to the tune of $20 million. and aims at addressing the challenges of low yields and poor soil fertility in the country. The Deputy Permanent Secretary, DPS for Northwestern Province, has highly commended the Ministry of Agriculture for coming up with this project on soil mapping countrywide. He said this when the Zambia Agricultural Research Acting Director in the Soils Department, Dr. Dickson Ngoni, and his entourage paid a courtesy call upon him.
Is to see how best we can boost up on our economy, more especially on food security, and which is something which is always being preached by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, to say Zambia must be a food secure country.
The Zambia Agricultural Research Acting Director in the Soils Department, Dr. Dickson Ngoni, revealed that the soil mapping exercise was last carried out in the 1970s, and since that time, farmers in Zambia have been using blanket fertilizer application methods, which have been a drawback to soil biodiversity.
It's a 4-year project, during which we'll see perhaps transformation. We've been using the blanket application of fertilizers like globally in this country, where we have been saying for a hectare we need to apply like 4 bags by the kg, and also 4 bags by the kg of urea, which perhaps to a larger extent, yes, this has been destructive to our soils.
There is an ongoing effort through various national and regional initiatives to increase crop production and productivity. Reporting for NICE, Ambrose Musanda, Northwestern Province.
We'll take a break. Join us after the break for international and sports news.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
It's a January back-to-school promotion bonanza at Darren Bay. Take advantage of our massive price discounts and turn your wonderful school-going kids into stars. With a cornrows hairstyle going at only 30 kwacha for kids below 13 years and 50 kwacha for kids above 13 years, your child is guaranteed that neat and trusted, classy look. This curly, knotless hairstyle is going for as little as 150 kwacha, from as high as 200 kwacha, wigs included. Now that's a classy saving. The sleek ponytail going at 80 kwacha from 120 kwacha makes your little one look like a true princess. Gift your pretty one with this lovely natural twist for as low as 60 kwacha from 100 kwacha, beads included. Now that's a cute saving. Your princess will look stunning in this curly ponytail at only 90 kwacha from the original 110 kwacha. Now that is a great deal. You will find us along Mosi Road, 4th Close, on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post in Ibex Hill, Lusaka. We are open from 0720 to 17 hours, 7 days a week. Call us for appointment bookings on 0772 870588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049213. Darren B, a touch of class. In international news, thousands of people are fleeing their homes in the towns and villages surrounding Goma as clashes between the Congolese army and the M23 rebels escalate, seeking refuge in the bustling city where the conflict has also reached unsettling proportions. Goma, the largest town in the area and home to a significant Congolese army presence, has become the focal point of this mass exodus. Residents of neighboring villages like Olive Luanda from Sake recount harrowing scenes of soldiers abandoning their posts, prompting civilians to flee in fear of the advancing M23 fighters. Here's a roundup of international news for more.
Thousands of people are fleeing their homes in the towns and villages surrounding Goma as clashes between the Congolese army and M23 rebels escalate, seeking refuge in the bustling city, where the conflict has also reached unsettling proportions. Goma, the largest town in the region and home to a significant Congolese army presence, has become the focal point of this mass exodus. We were going into the field to cultivate, and when we arrived at the Kimoka military barrier, we saw soldiers fleeing with their weapons. They said that the M23 fighters were coming, and we were all forced to flee. In any case, we want this war to end. We want our authorities to end this war because we're suffering so much. Despite the arduous journey to Goma, which can take up to 5 hours on foot from Sake, the safety of the city is far from guaranteed. Recent days have seen rockets raining down on the city's outskirts, albeit causing no casualties, underscoring the indiscriminate nature of the conflict's reach. We've just fled Sake because we're afraid to stay there and die. Bombs are being dropped in the city, so we have to flee because there's a risk of dying there. We're fleeing, but we don't know where we're going to live. The inability of Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi to quell the violence despite his re-election in December has raised doubts about the government's capacity to restore peace.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres made a passionate plea for peace in a speech to the General Assembly on Wednesday. He said millions of people caught up in conflict are going through hellish suffering.
Excellencies, for millions of people caught up in conflict around the world, life is a deadly, daily, hungry hell. Record numbers are fleeing their homes in search of safety, and they are crying out for peace, and we must hear them and act. In the immediate term, we must continue to push for peace across the globe. The situation in Gaza is a festering wound on our collective conscience that threatens the entire region.
Guterres mentioned conflicts in Sudan, where fighting has entered its 10th month, Libya and Ukraine, where he said violence continues to destroy lives.
The fighting must stop in Sudan before it destroys even more lives and spreads. And in Libya, while a ceasefire holds, the Libyan people deserve sustained peace and stability, starting with a commitment to free and fair elections. In Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, I call on all armed groups to lay down their weapons, and I urge regional leaders to prioritize dialogue over conflict. In Yemen, I appeal to all parties to focus on the path to peace and also to de-escalate tensions in the Red Sea based on the principle of freedom of navigation.
The UN chief ended his speech with a call to countries to respect the United Nations Charter.
The Economic Community of West African States has convened an emergency meeting on Thursday to address pressing issues across the region. Among the key concerns are the political turmoil in Senegal and ongoing tensions with military regimes in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. The gathering in Abuja, Nigeria, will see foreign ministers deliberating on the current security and political challenges facing West Africa. While the attendance of the Senegalese minister remains unconfirmed, the focus is on finding solutions to the region's complex issues. ECOWAS has faced criticism for its handling of recent events, including the postponement of Senegal's presidential election. Despite urging Dakar to adhere to the original electoral timetable, doubts linger over the organization's effectiveness in influencing member states. The credibility of ECOWAS is under scrutiny, especially following the coup in Niger last July. Calls for military intervention have waned, leaving former President Mohamed Bazoum detained without reinstatement, raising concerns about the organization's efficacy in addressing political upheavals.
Of Libya and the People's Democratic Republic.
And our sports news tonight, Zambia women's national team coach Bruce MWAPE has named the provisional squad before facing Ghana in the penultimate round of the 2024 Paris Olympics women's football tournament qualifiers. MWAPE has retained most of the players who completed the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON qualification task against Angola and added the FAS Women's Super League duo of defender Tabo Miselo and striker Florence Banda, who have stood out for the parliamentarians. Green Buffalo striker Kabange Mupopo also returns to the Copper Queens squad for the first time in 8 years, and so does elite ladies midfielder Comfort Selemani, who missed the WAFCON qualifier matches against Angola in December. Meanwhile, Zambia women's under-17 head coach Carol Kayemba says the team is settling well in Tanzania before facing that country in the Dominican Republic World Cup qualifier second leg match. The Zambia under-17 beat Tanzania 5-0 in Lusaka on Friday, 3 to head into the Sunday's tie with an upper hand.
We arrived in Tanzania around 18, and just upon embarking from the airport, we were kissed by the temperature of Tanzania, which was about 33 degrees. And I want to say that we're trained by all means to adapt to it. We reached the hotel about 19. It was too late for us to have a workout. So this morning we told the girls that we'll have a morning workout so that we can remove the jet lag that had accumulated in them. So woke them up early so that they can just feel the breeze and the morning air of Tanzania. Definitely a change of environment and weather has got an effect. But the fact that we've got 2 days before match day, we're going to adapt to it. So we're having a session today at the same time that we shall play our game on Saturday, so that we try to acclimatize with the weather. We did every homework that we're supposed to do immediately after our game at home. We worked on the mistakes that we made, and we did everything. Coming here and our training sessions here are mostly for acclimatization and raising the heartbeats of our girls so that they can cope with the heat that Tanzania had during the match day.
To end Camnet television news, the top stories once again. Some parents expressed mixed feelings over reopening of schools. Court orders former Ambassador MWAMBA to surrender his passport. ZICTA fines AIRTEL for breach of service obligations. In international news, thousands flee homes as fighting intensifies in Goma, DRC. And in sports news, MWAPE names a 30-member provisional squad for Ghana clash. Our Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of Romans 12, verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo, and thank you for watching Camnet Television Main News. Good night.